everybody. Don't mind us. My name is Danielle Putnam, and with me is Megan Jones, right?
Hello, hello. You got it right.
And we were just working on getting the energy up because where energy goes, focus flows. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to spend with us. And I would love to know why. Why are you here? It is July. It is hot. It is sunny. I hope where you are. So, what are you here for? What did you hope to gain? If you will get familiar with the chat at the bottom of your screen there, it might be on the top on your Zoom. Even if you're on a phone, hopefully you've got access to the little chat so we can interact here. Would love, love, love you to chat with us, talk to us, and tell me and tell Megan, why are you here? What do you hope to gain today? And so we're going to work to keep this energy up. Don't mind us if we pump our hands. Sometimes we feel stupid when we do it, but then all of a sudden we have more energy to focus on what matters. And what matters right now is you and your business and how we can serve. So please do tell me. Thank you, Caitlin, for loving our energy. Join us. Pump your fist. Very cool. All right. Here to educate myself to better. Love that. Thank you.
Thanks, Fred.
All attendees get a 40% reduction coupon. They do. Okay. Make
Wow,
freebie.
that's very exciting news to me as well.
True. Oh, here to learn from some of the best in the trades. OMG. That's all of y'all on this call. So please do add, comment, interact with us and everybody here so that we can learn from each other. Lori, right now I'm only 20 feet from
Trying to be famous.
looking to spread out my tent stakes. I love that. Very good. You're famous in my eyes, Lori. So let's let the rest of your town, your 5 mile radius, know how famous you guys are. Okay, cool. Then it sounds like you're in the right place. You are here because together we're going to talk about how to become 5 mile famous. And what that means is in your area, where you are, your community, as a service provider, how can everybody there know who you are, know what you offer, know how you can serve them, and be excited to do business with you? That's why we're here. Megan, would you do an introduction so that everybody can get to know you a little bit?
I would love to, Danielle. I'm so excited to be here. I'm so glad that we've come together with the new collaborate in El Toro for today. We have been doing this 5 Mile Famous webinar series for the past couple of months, and it's been awesome because there are so many great pieces of information for contractors, for home services companies to just know about and be aware of to make their business even bigger and better and run smoother and more profitably. And you guys are a great partner out there. So I'm excited to talk about that with you today, Danielle. But I've been at El Toro for about 10 years. I lead our new business team and I love the home services space. So we're excited to be here at El Toro and talk more about everything that we can do to help become 5 Mile Famous.
I love that. 10 years. There's something
Yeah,
said for that. Thank you for staying
crazy.
for such a long time and providing such
Mm-hmm.
a big deal. We've been doing what we're doing here for 15 years. And somebody said to me this week, they're like, hey, how did you just stumble on, such and such project you're working on? I was like, stumble? Are you kidding? We've been working on this for 15 years. We just keep working and working in our industries to be able to do more and do better. So
Daniel, we're the same as I've been here for 10 years, but the company's been around for 15 years. So this is not our first rodeo here.
no, okay, thanks for saying that.
Mm-hmm.
This is the first time we're doing something together, and I'm really excited. If everybody walks away with only one thing today, this is what I would love you to have in your mind. Say it out loud wherever you are. The business you already have, your business, is bigger than you think. Your business, the business you already have where you work today, it is bigger than you think. That is what I want you to walk away with. Others are not smarter or luckier than you. Their businesses don't run just better and aren't just more perfect, and it's just not fair. They're just seeing their own business through a different lens. And that's what we want to do with your business today. We want to look at it through big or a different lens. What opportunities are within your 5 mile radius that you can take advantage of today to make a difference, to change? So that everybody looks at you and says, wow, how'd they get so lucky? How are they so smart? Megan, if you don't mind, I'm going to start out
Mhm.
with something that I always start out with because I think it's really important to remember why, even as individuals and companies, why we're here and what we do. So, at the New Flat Rate, our company, over the years, we have served thousands of heating and air, electrical, and plumbing contractors, primarily, also chimney. And these companies that we start working with, it's because they're stuck undercharging for their services. And so we're on a mission to help them get paid what they are worth. And it's something that we're very passionate about. So as we get started, I love to say first, I really want to say that we do what we do to simply try to keep families together. So we can talk about pricing and being 5 Mile famous, but ultimately we want to work to keep families together. And what I mean by that is simply this, because families look different for everybody. But when contractors are using the power of a menu, getting paid what they're worth, they're able to increase their cash flow so their company can grow from a position of strength. When we focus to maximize every service call that we go on, then our team can get home at a reasonable time to let their dog out because that's their family. Or to be able to take care of their elderly parents or grandparents. That's their family. Or maybe just make it to a kid's baseball game. But whatever is important, whatever is family for them, we want to maximize the time that they're working with us so that we can free up the time that they're not with us. And they can have those family moments too. For me, it's all about making it to my girls' cross country practices. They hate it. They gripe every time. And some of you have seen this picture before, but they're just so dang cute. I can't help it. But I want to make it to those races. I want to be out there on the fields with them and I want to be cheering. So everybody has something that matters most to them. And pricing well allows companies to provide that balance for their team members too. So we want to be able to maximize the opportunity in the home. So I started with this. The business you already have is bigger than you think. Say it again with me out loud. The business
The business
you already
you
have
already have
than you think.
bigger than you think.
Nice, Megan. Thank you for that.
I was practicing.
Because I
It's
can't hear
true.
the rest of you, I want to make
Hmm.
sure that you're saying it out loud. The business you already have is bigger than you think. And so we want to look at it through a different lens. In our in our home service businesses, wherever you are in the country today, go ahead and chat it in for me. Tell me where you are. I know you don't want to just listen to me talk. I want to hear from each other too. It makes it way more fun. Spring chicken. All right. Georgia, Oklahoma, Camp Hill, Pennsylvania. My husband's in Pennsylvania today. He's in Pittsburgh up there watching the Braves, and he's on a double-decker bus tour right now. He's been sending me pictures of beautiful Pittsburgh. But what a neat place. Louisville. Love Louisville. Very cool. We only have 4 states represented. Where's everybody else? I'm in Georgia. Come on, guys. Where are you guys calling in from? There we go. Thank you, Drew. Hello, Michigan. Love some Michigan. Colorado. Welcome, Colorado. Is it the Mile High? Is Denver the Mile High city? It is, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, yeah. Love some Colorado. Okay, cool. I'm glad you guys are here and we're not here by ourselves. So, walk through the service call life cycle with us. Now, your business, you of course have different business processes, you have different softwares and different things that you do. But ultimately, what are we doing? We are craftsmen, we are service providers, and we are out to do a really great job for our customers. It makes us feel good when we can fix things. On a call the other day, somebody said, "This is the happiest industry that there is." And I was like, what? Home services is the happiest industry? He's like, yeah, because technicians are out there fixing problems for homeowners and becoming the superhero savior, and homeowners are glad and they get to see the fruits of their labor firsthand. I was like, what a great perspective. We actually
Mhm.
to see what we're doing firsthand. And so at your company, you work really hard to make the phones ring. There's a couple ways that you do that. You're welcome to type in here for the betterment of everybody. Are you in paid social? Are you organic? Do you have a great referral program? What makes your phone ring? Then we dispatch the call, which is a separate activity. The dispatchers have to know how to put the right technician on the money. Which call goes with which technician, which area, however you train and do your dispatching. Your technician arrives on site and greets your customer. You may have a standard script. You may use the booty shoe covers. You may roll out the red carpet. These are all areas. And I love to walk through the service call life cycle as a reminder for all of us. Oh, yeah, I should inspect what I expect to see, are are my team members actually doing all the steps on their service call that I expect that they do? Are we putting signs out on the road when we park our vehicles? Are we putting cones around them? I love when I see a beautifully wrapped van or not wrapped van on the side of the road with a sign in front of it and behind it says, hey, sorry, don't worry about us. We're here doing a fantastic new install for your neighbor, or we're here repairing, something plumbing for your neighbor. Love when there's signage and you own the whole road. There's so many things we can do here to continue to elevate our opportunities. They greet the customer, they do the diagnosis, they find the problem. Don't worry, Megan, I'm going to find the problem. And then I should be able
Mhm.
to show you several options to take care of it today. After I find the problem, I'm going to come back and I'm going to get your attention. Megan, I found the problem. Would you like to see some solutions?
Please.
Fantastic. And that's when I'm going to show you a menu. And the reason I'm going to show you a menu is because I want you to be able to choose the level of service that you want. I want you to be able to know right away, oh, wow, good. I can afford to do business with Danielle and I can move up to any level of service that I want. I'm going to actually collect payment. Some of you guys may or may not collect payment at the beginning of a call. We at the new flat rate love to encourage collecting payment upfront. And I'm going to tell you why. Because Megan, when I say, hey, Megan, here's some options, what should we do? And you say, hey, let's do that option in the middle for $385. I say, okay, great.
Mhm.
Can we take care of the paperwork real quick? When we do that, Megan has shifted the problem and the responsibility over to me. Now
Mhm.
that she has already paid for it, she can relax and know that I'm going to take care of the problem that has inconvenienced her and kept her up all night. So now it's my responsibility. I've been paid and I'm going to go ahead and get my tool bag and do a great job of quality craftsmanship and fixing the problem. Then the technician, in this case myself, I'm going to do a fantastic repair and I'm going to display wow factor because I want maybe whoever's not there in the home that day when they come home to see, oh, wow, not only does it feel better in here, but I can visibly see a difference. I'm going to do some wow factor. We have a list of wow factors. Melody could chat that in if you can find it. I know you're on here. We've got
Mhm.
like 100 wow factors, ideas that your technicians can do while they are
Wow.
in the field. Because sometimes people are like, well, how can I create a wow factor? So we've already got all kinds of ideas for you. So we'll put that there in the chat. And then we have a happy customer, and we're going to want 5-star reviews and referrals. We want referrals. Megan, if this was
Mhm.
a great service call life cycle, we maximized the opportunity in the home. We created great value. We increased our average service ticket. We didn't walk away with a $0 ticket. Don't you think we'd want to do this again?
I hope so.
We want to do it again. And
Okay.
that is why we're here today together to talk about 5 Mile Famous.
Mhm.
And I'm going to throw this ball up in the air, grab my bat, and toss it over to you. Slug it
Well,
over
that's
in Louisville.
perfect timing. Before we do that, I need to know, Danielle, what is your favorite wow factor?
I love this product called Total C, and it's
Mm.
super easy to carry on the truck. I even have it in my home as well. And it is a citrus solve that afterwards, when you're done with your job, whether it's HVAC, electrical plumbing, roofing, siding, whatever it is, you can just ask the homeowner, hey, does anybody have any citrus allergies in the home? If not, okay, great. If you don't mind, I'm just going to go ahead and pour a little of this in each of your drains around your house, and it's going to refresh the house, make it smell really good, and it helps to keep the drains and the sinks and everything clearing as they should. So it's just a really great, quick, easy wow factor that instantly drains flow a little bit better and the house smells better and it hardly costs anything. And so we're looking for a wow factor that it's like the freebie, the extra, the oh wow, thank you. I love this moment. That's my favorite.
Thank you, Melody. I'm gonna have to send that to my husband because I'm like, I need that wow factor. I've got 3 little boys at my house, so that would be a big wow all the time if all of our drinks smelled like that instead of like little boys. But that's awesome. I love that. And Danielle, you're so right. Walking through that entire experience and how much investment that tech has put into that homeowners, into that day, into what that problem was that they came to solve. We're doing everything up to and beyond with the wow factor there. You're building up that credibility in the service that people are going to want to refer you to other people when their friends or neighbors have problems. So being able to amplify that message is really what El Toro is all about. And by the way, the way that El Toro, I don't know that we've got more detail on this, but we're a digital advertising platform. But all of the patents that we have, all of the technology that El Toro is built on top of, is based on being able to find the IP address or Wi-Fi of a specific home. So we don't have to guess. We're not using like a 500-mile radius or 500-meter area to try and triangulate who are we trying to get in front of, or try and use online probability or probabilistic modeling to guess who might be the right person. A lot of challenges that we see for digital advertising for home service partners is that it's just too broad typically. And they want to try and amplify their message and reach scale. But scale and being big doesn't really match with what is available out there. Most of the time, it's just too big. You don't really need to be 500-mile famous. You just need to be 5-mile famous. So that can become really wasteful from a spend and advertising efficiency standpoint. And a lot of times, even down to a zip code is going to be too broad because different neighborhoods are not all neighborhoods are created equal in the same zip code. So making sure you're just getting in front of the right people that are already in your saturated service zone is what we want to do and try and focus for you guys so that we've got the best return on ad spend for amplifying that message and driving more referrals. So the point here is a
Love
lot
that
of
you said-
people, yeah, go ahead.
I love that you said not 500 miles. I think
Okay.
too often do we think we have to blast it everywhere. We don't need
Mm-hmm.
500 miles. We need five because within 5 mile radius, you have all of the business that you need to grow to the
Exactly.
next level.
Exactly. There's a lot of people within 5 miles that need you.
Mhm.
Um, and to your point too, Danielle, they're going to call you when something happens and they've got a problem. And making sure you've got some of those lower funnel like search tactics in play is one thing, but you want to be really top of mind before that happens. If they already know who you are before that problem hits, it's going to be a lot more likely that they call you first because they're trying to think about who can I trust during that emergency situation.
Yeah, trust is key.
Mm-hmm. So,
Did it keep clicking or you want to keep talking?
yeah, go ahead. And switch to the next slide here. So the way that we really like to do this for home service clients, think about, do you have, or Danielle, do you know if any of the contractors you all work with, if they've got their techs knocking on doors after they wrap up one of those jobs that they do?
I don't know, but please do
Okay.
comment in, everybody that's on here with us. Do any of you ask, let's say you're doing an install, do you ask your technicians to knock on the doors up and down the streets? I've heard, oh, we go 3 up and 3 down and then pass out flyers, say that we're in the area. Does anybody still do that today?
A lot of people do. I'd be curious if anybody on here has their teams doing that, but it still can be effective because a lot of times those people have similar homes, so they're going to have the same type of problem with their house. And a lot of times neighbors talk to each other about who they, if they've gotten an upgrade to their front door, something obvious like that. This is pretty natural to ask your neighbor, like, "Hey, I love your new door. Where'd you get that? Who did the work for you?" And similarly, when you've got a problem, if you have a new HVAC system, usually I'm blowing up my neighbor group chat over here saying, "Who just fixed your guys' AC? It is like 1,000,000 degrees upstairs in our house right now. We're going to need to get this repaired." So using that reliability and word of mouth idea there is what El Toro does digitally. So what we'll do is look at a list of your recent customers. So a lot of times we'll look at anybody over the last 30 days, but we can go back as far as we want to say these are customers that have recently seen our trucks with our brands driving by. The neighbors might be talking about all the great work we did and the wow factor and how amazing their house smelled after we got that orange scent built into our ACs. And we can find the neighbors of those homes. So we'll get a list of the addresses of all of the neighbors of those recent customers and then serve a digital ad campaign, which is usually connected TV ads, so video ads when you're streaming on Hulu or Tubi or Sling TV, things like that, a household targeted TV commercial, digital display ads, and online video ads. So as you're browsing around on the internet, looking at any news articles or recipes or looking up anything online, your brand is going to be right in front of those specific homeowners that are the neighbors of your customers that have already experienced that wow.
Very cool. I'm gonna come back and dive into that, Megan.
Mm.
So some of you, thank you, Tony, for letting us know. Hey, Melody, will you please check and re-upload that Wow Factor link? Thank you so much, Melody. And then Mike, you said you clover leaf. You don't go up and down, you clover leaf. So I'm not sure, like, does that mean you
Yeah.
the neighborhood? Is that what that means?
I had never heard that phrase, but that is actually more appropriate because it's not a radius, because not every street is really kind of what we were talking about. Not every street is created equal. And the way that our system is set up similarly is we want to just find the streets that we're most likely driven by with your truck. So we actually have kind of a built-in mapping algorithm to say, these are the houses, the physical neighbors that are going to be within a line of sight, is a lot of times what we'll say, of people that you have already done business for. So that cloverleaf thing, I hadn't thought about that, but that's right.
This is not new, and I am not the first person to say this. I've heard so many people frustrated saying my technicians won't do it. We've tried bonus
Mm-hmm.
incentives. We have created all these kind of little gift packets for them to give to all the neighbors, and they end up, jumbled up in piles and ruined in the back of the truck. And then we're just wasting inventory. We're wasting time. We're wasting money, and they won't do it. They won't do it. They won't do it. My brother has a heating and air company, and he is the best in town at yard signs. And so his yard signs are everywhere. And somebody asked me, how does he do it? Does he incentivize his technicians? Does he bonus them? How does he get them to do it? And so I said, oh, well, let me find out. So on 4th of July the other day, I was like, hey, Dallas, how do you actually get your team to leave these yard signs all over town because you are the best in class at it? I said, do you bonus them? He's like, no, I use the F word. My mom was there and she was completely distraught. She was like, Dallas, you shouldn't be using the S word or F word and cussing. He's like, Mom, I don't have time for that. I've already tried everything else. It doesn't work. And I just let them know what's going to happen if they don't leave that sign. I was like, okay, I don't know that we can legally say that. And that might not be the best way. And so he continues to say what has actually worked for him is whoever sells the job, especially if it's an install. If it's an install, whoever's selling the job, they'll say, hey, would you mind if I put this yard sign in the yard? Because it will help my team find your house easier, faster, know that they're going to be doing the job at the right house. And so that is one way
Right.
that they gain acceptance and approval from the homeowner is that whoever sells the job is the one that puts the sign out there. And then if they
Mm-hmm.
don't, they might get the F word back at the office.
Okay, that's a really good tactic, I feel like. That's your point. Like we want to build up that goodwill that you've built out with everyone you found there. But a lot of times it is hard to, get the techs to do that. Not every tech is as good as at Dallas is at getting the techs to build those yard signs where they need to go. So this is a nice way to just kind of, both double down on that same strategy and idea. Or if you don't, if you're not really confident that you can get your techs to go do that physically work. It just takes too much time. Their time is really valuable. If you've got a smaller team and they really need to get moving to the next house in their day and on their route, then this is a great way just to make sure you're still getting your brand right in front of that home, regardless of whether you actually have one of your folks physically go there.
Oh, and what I love about this, Megan, too, is that it is predictable to duplicate because you might have
Yeah.
one team member, one technician that's really great at canvassing or clovering and going to the doors and doing all the things and following process. But then you have others that continually don't do those things.
Yeah.
So instead of that frustration, what you guys are doing, Megan, is putting technology in place that automatically is going to do the thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you don't have to worry about the police getting called on these young guys. I'm so sorry, Lori, about your that stinks. I get it. I mean, that happens. The day that we live in right now, it can be tough and tricky, even just like hanging the physical paper. But I think that can get, depending on what neighborhood that you're in and what community that you're in, those HOAs can be really sticklers about not doing that. So, same idea here about some of the red tape and some of the challenges that can go with the physical side of door knocking.
So what you're saying is, if I want to make sure that I understand this well, so that everybody here is understanding it well too. And so with El Toro, we're in a neighborhood. We know that we're doing a job right here at House ABC. And so
Mm-hmm.
when we use your system, it will go and connect with through the
Yep.
Wi-Fi,
Yep. Wi-Fi, IP address. Uh-huh.
what the IP addresses. And so then when the neighbors are going about their day on their phones, they're going to begin to see ads for your company. And then that recognition, that top of mind recognition of, oh, I just saw their truck outside and now I'm seeing them on
Mhm.
my phone. Wow, I should give them a call.
Exactly. Exactly.
Very cool.
Mhm.
We don't we don't knock doors currently and understand the perception, says Richard. Yeah. Okay, interesting.
Mhm.
Let's see what else we got next. How's this playbook slide, Megan? Does this do anything for you?
Yeah, we can kind of talk through that. So a lot of times we were talking a lot about neighbor targeting, which is really a great strategy for acquisition, but not to overlook what you can really win and build up from your base of customers. So especially if you're in HVAC, I think we saw pest control. And actually my mom called pest control for the first time recently. She had 5 groundhogs under her deck. And
They're
it was
a
like, it was a whole thing. I've been learning a lot about pest control recently, but whether that was a pest control, HVAC, roofing type of a client, people in the home services space, if you have your CRM, a lot of people I know use Service Titan if you're in HVAC, roofing and things like that. But regardless of what you use, there is a wealth of data in your CRM, and so many people don't use that to the fullest extent for how you can continue communicating and marketing to people that already know you. They've already got that brand recognition. So take a look at your CRM and see who have we not worked with in a while, who's probably due for a tune-up or a check-in or a service, and how can we get in front of them again? So with us, with El Toro, we'll take that list of past customers or lapsed customers even. We just need the physical mailing address. And then we're going to, again, run a digital ad campaign to those specific homes with that streaming commercial, with the online video, with the display campaigns. We can even do some ads over into Meta if we wanted to as well. But that'll help us make sure we're building that brand recognition and staying top of mind. It's not once they get in the funnel and they close that we're done with them forever. No, we hope that they stay with us for the longest time and that we continue to be their go-to person when the next need arises that they need to call us for. So that's kind of the base that we think about is using what you already have. The second is the conquesting through targeting neighbors of your best customers or your recent customers, like we've been talking about. And then finally is just kind of like the other side of looking at the past customer base, looking forward and retaining them. Once we acquire those new customers, put them into an ongoing cadence where they have kind of a low frequency touch, but you just stay in front of them as they go throughout their days and the rest of their, just having like a normal time and watching TV or on their phones, on their computers, browsing, that you guys are going to be right in front of them and staying top of mind again for when that need arises.
Those are great reminders. So I
Mm-hmm.
can see how you guys integrate in here and help and support. But then also, if you're not using El Toro, just great reminders of things that we need to be doing. And I can't help but to think of the word thank you. How
Mm-hmm.
often are we letting our customers know thank you for allowing us?
Yeah.
Thank you for being our customer. Because if we want to stay top of mind and in front of them to keep that loyalty, they have a choice. They can do business with anybody else,
Mm-hmm.
and they want to know that we appreciate their
Mm-hmm.
and their hard-earned dollars that they chose to spend that with us. And so even if you're like, okay, well, what should I do to get on their phone, get in their email, get on their, texting,
Mm-hmm.
on their social? Thank you is always a good one that is not used enough that we can put on
Mm-hmm.
repeat. Thank you for being one of our customers. Thank you for being our friend. Thank you for this. Thank you for that. And I complain about it all the time, but certain services that I use over and over, like a certain lunch place, doesn't say thank
Mm-hmm.
you for coming in here at lunch, right? But yet, if I go to Chick-fil-A, they say thank you. So,
Mm-hmm. I love that idea. Actually, I don't know that I have ever seen because that's something I think a little more obvious if you're doing like an email campaign, which we don't do emails. But that's not everybody answers the emails or opens the emails. So much stuff goes to spam these days. But wow, that is a really underutilized creative strategy that I haven't seen any of our home services clients use that I'm aware of. I might have to ask some of our team internally if anybody has done that. Because a lot of times we say, which is also true, like have a great offer on your creative, like some sort of a discount or program that they can take advantage of, and something that's relevant to incentivize them to take action. But that is a really good idea, especially for folks that you've already worked with and you want to make sure you're staying top of mind, even though there might not be an immediate need right now. To just say thank you would probably cut through a lot of things online these days.
Well, and it brings back that human connection. And so
Mm-hmm.
mass, like you said earlier, we're not looking for the 500 miles. We're looking right.
Yeah.
Let's bust through the mass and be more human to human again. And the connection of we appreciate you. Thank you for choosing to do business with us. And even the handwritten note cards, I love those times 1,000. I love to get them. I know that that's the first thing that we actually reach for when we open our mailbox. And
Mm-hmm.
and when we stop doing it. So there's so many things. Our companies are bigger than we think. We're just not even using and reaching for the low hanging fruit and the things that we could start doing today.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. The thank you campaign makes my heart leap. Lori, you're the best, but so simple. So if anything's coming to mind for all of y'all, chat it in here. Are there any areas that you can just tweak your business a little bit to move it to the next level within your 5 mile radius? Something that you could start doing right away. Are we maximizing the opportunities in the home? Are we giving options with our pricing? Something else I'm going to throw in here too as we're talking is Melody, would you mind putting a link to the billable hour calculator? If anybody is unsure about, and I use this word over and over, maximizing the opportunity, maximize, maximize, maximize. If we have the opportunity to be in a home, we want to make sure that we're priced right. We don't want to be guessing. We want to make sure that we're priced right. We don't want to race to the bottom and try to be the cheapest. We want to provide great value and we want to get paid what we're worth. And so we've got a billable hour calculator. Melody will stick in here in the link. Thanks so much, Melody. Melody is our VP and she's graced us with her presence today. I was like, will you just sit in here to make sure that we have all the links that we need along the way? And so thank you, Melody. Look at that. I used the word thank you. See, we can
Ah,
do it.
feeling very grateful today. Grateful hearts.
See, there we go. Thank you, Melody. But if you are not sure if you're priced right, that is definitely a lever that you can pull. Let's make sure that we're priced right and we're using a consistent system so that everybody on our team is pricing right in every opportunity so we can maximize those opportunities and we want to put them on repeat. So we want to use technology where we can to make sure that we get these great service calls again and again and again.
Mm-hmm.
And we want to waterfall. We want to use our
Mm-hmm.
content everywhere. This probably goes without saying, but I need the reminder all the time of, oh, I've got a thank you card. I can put it on my Facebook. I can put it on my Instagram. I can put it in my emails. I can put it
Mm-hmm.
flyers. Like we can do all this stuff and reuse, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. And we're not doing it, which is keeping us small.
Mm-hmm.
We are bigger than we think.
This is actually a an example of our matchback analysis. So we haven't really touched on this much yet, Danielle, but when it comes to running digital advertising campaigns, I think a lot of folks on here were saying at the beginning, whether you have an agency that you work with or if you've got someone internally and you just do everything yourself, there's so many different channels out there that make it really hard sometimes to see what's actually working and whether you're hitting the right homes or whether you're hitting a home at all, or if this is just like a bot crawling for Claude that I'm getting in front of on accident. But what we do at that's thing. But what we do here, since we are tying everything to a physical mailing address, it works kind of similarly to direct mail. So if you've ever run direct mail, Danielle, have you ever done a direct mail campaign before?
I used to manage a multi-million dollar direct mail budget for
Oh,
a
no.
global organization. So I have done direct mail and I was
I
in,
didn't even
I guarantee you I wasted so much money by doing it wrong. But time I learned and I got it right.
even I didn't even mean to tee you up like that, but that's perfect. Okay, so for all of your years at in direct mail, running direct mail campaigns, did you all ever run matchback analyses to see what response rates were or return on ad spend was for those campaigns?
I don't know the word matchback.
That's okay.
So
So what I mean by that is in direct mail, it can be kind of a more common report where we look at these are all of the addresses that we've sent a direct mail piece to. And then on the back end to see how effective it was, they'll look at how many people have actually become a new customer. And so take that mailing address of the new customer, match it against the list of households that got the direct mail to get the overall conversion rate for that direct mail campaign.
okay.
Does that make sense? Does that ring any bells? Did you all ever do that?
We did A/B testing, but not
Yeah.
like that. No. So
Okay.
we didn't do matchback, but we would test, headlines and things. But
Okay.
I love
Okay.
that you're tying it to addresses
Yes.
and not
Yeah. So that's
way of a phone number or a code or something that gets lost and not used, and then you're wasting money. I love the address.
right. that can be the really tricky thing with a lot of these campaigns these days, like as kind of disparate that media is right now, trying to tie attribution and return for something like an HVAC system, not very many people are going to see an ad and click on it and then buy a new HVAC system. Or even if it's on a connected TV ad, if there's a QR code or a phone number, it's really unlikely that that last touch is going to be where they convert. There's all these different things that are going to happen from the point where they are thinking about you, they see you, they have the brand resonate, and then something happens and they know to call you because you've built up that recognition. So that's kind of what we're hoping to do here. Instead of saying, is this somebody that saw this ad, clicked on it, and bought a new HVAC system, which that is really kind of a broken process, we can say, these are the addresses that received your campaign. Here's how many addresses have booked with you since we started running the program. And we can either see the total number of leads or new jobs and sales so that we can actually track what the overall impact was for your campaign. So this is actually an example from an HVAC client that we work with, and we have a bunch of these. I know you were kind of talking at the beginning, Danielle, about your all's expertise in the space. We work with tons and tons and tons of HVAC clients, all different sorts of home services folks, everything down to a local, regional, or local service providers up to national providers with lots of different franchise locations. But this is just one. I think they were a local one actually, and this is an example from last year when we run these matchbacks. So of the households that they targeted, there was about 32,000 homes that were neighbors of their recent customers that they uploaded. So we are pushing out connected TV ads, online video, and display ads to all these homes at a pretty decent clip so that we can make sure we're staying in front of them. And after we run the campaign, we'll get the list of sales from the clients. There was 320 homes that converted, and all of those homes represented $850,000 in revenue that we were able to reach that. So the return on ad spend for this campaign is so high that it's hard to calculate for a percentage wise, but these are not huge campaigns, and this was run over pretty much the entire fall season and generated a huge return for them. And this is pretty typical for most of our HVAC clients.
So if I give you $16,000, you give me $850,000. Would that be a good deal?
Would that be a good deal? I feel like the answer is usually yes, which is why we have so many HVAC and home services partners.
Interesting. So I love it so much because we all know that if we knew that if I gave you
Mm-hmm.
$5 and you were going to give me $10, I'd just go find more $5 to give you more
Right.
$5, right? And so
Mm-hmm.
you're able to prove that, hey, you gave us 16,000 and these are actually 320 new households,
Mm-hmm.
right?
That's right.
Able to convert into this $850,000 of revenue over. And I love how
Mm-hmm.
you also specified that it was over a season. So
Mm-hmm.
spend that $16,000 in 1 week because that may sound so out of reach to some on the call,
Right.
right? But over this season, so that might have been, if it was all of fall, it might have been 3 months or 2 months, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't, let's see. Well, I guess it says here, start and stop date.
September to the end of December. So
October,
September,
November,
October, November,
December.
December. Almost 4 months. Mm-hmm.
Yep. Okay, cool. You even have the detail in there. And it click through rate and clicks. This is fascinating. So I think that's so cool, guys. How can we know these are not inflated numbers? Well, Tony, great question. How do we know again that these numbers are real?
These are from the client. So I will caveat this to say like this is not, El Toro is not the only thing working here. This is what we can say is these are the homes that were receiving the El Toro campaign. There might be other programs running, but you can at least have the transparency and we'll give you the address list before the campaign even starts. So you know exactly where these ads are going. And then on the back end, that's where we get the list of addresses from the client to say, who became a new client, what is the sales revenue from that client. Some of these are probably going to be an HVAC system upgrade. Some of them are going to be a tune-up, things like that. So it depends on the client. These are not inflated numbers; they're real numbers. But I've got a whole bunch of different, depending on what you're selling and what your service is, that revenue will fluctuate a lot. But because we're always having such a very specific audience, that revenue number can look crazy because you only need to get the people that are within 5 miles of your service area or your specific service area. There's only so many homes that you actually want and should be spending money to reach. So when you can narrow in on those homes and have a really effective strategy, if you're selling something, if it's a solution or product that is in the tens of thousands of dollars, and we're only reaching the people that need to get that service done, the return ends up looking very similar to this because of that strategy.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Tony says, what is the minimum monthly budget recommended? I think that's
So
a lot too. So I don't know
do
if
it.
for El Toro or for marketing. I know a lot of people ask it for marketing, but so
Mm-hmm.
for El Toro, we'll start there. What is the minimum monthly budget recommended?
We recommend at least $5,000 a month to get the best scale for what we're trying to do. Obviously, we've got a little bit of flexibility because this campaign was $4,000 a month. So that's kind of the best recommendation for scale, but we have some flexibility on that.
And I was reading that next question. So what was the dollar amount you just said? I missed it.
$5,000 a month for at least 3 months is what we recommend to see the results like this that we would expect. But we can be flexible,
Yeah, because that might sound like a big lift for some, but it might not
right?
be for others.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah, depending on the service. Like if you really only have, one market that you're serving and you really want to pound it and get the word out, but the budget only supports targeting this many households, we'll make sure we're right sizing that campaign budget to the audience that you're trying to reach.
yes, thank you. Fred asks, is the 1% conversion rate fairly common for the household conversion rate of 1%?
This is probably going to be a combination of neighbors and past customers now that I'm looking at this actually. So there might be some mix of past customers in that file, but anywhere from like 0.5 to 1% is pretty common for a lot of home services clients that we work with over an extended period of time, not within like a week, but have it right. It's going to take a little while for it to get built up like that.
Mm. You know what I know of all of us businesses, everybody on the call today, all of us, we all sometimes fall into the category of thinking that we're doing more than we actually are.
Mm-hmm.
And so we could all be bigger. And we need to look at the different lens of, all right, what are some opportunities? What are areas that we're not doing? So in our marketing, in our pricing, are we actually maximizing every opportunity in the home? Are we getting those 5-star reviews? Are we getting those referrals? Do we have a referral program that is in place that is working? Are we getting referrals from our bigger, better buyers, our best clients, our best neighborhoods? Are we doing all the things? No, we aren't. We could all be doing more, but I love this solution is that, Sharon, hey, let's put this piece of technology in place to pick up some of this low-hanging fruit that we're not doing or getting anything with right now. And so it's one in the mix. I like it.
Mm-hmm. All right.
What do
What
we
we
got?
got next?
What do we got next? I put a picture of the new flat rate in here. For anybody that doesn't know what the new flat rate looks like, we are a menu pricing system. And so, like I said, and keep saying, we just want to maximize the opportunity in the home by speed to price. Make it very easy for your team to show prices so that your customer can choose the level of service that they want, and 80% choose to buy more than they could ever be sold. And so, again, we're just maximizing the opportunity in the home. Tony
And
asked,
Danielle, oh, go ahead.
does it work in all type of devices? Can you show how it looks like in different devices? Yes, it does. So I use it on my phone all the time. I use it on my Mac all the time. And that tablet, it looks the same whether it's on iOS or Android. So it does. What kind of device do you have, Tony? You meant the app. Oh, okay, 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 cool. That question was to you, Megan.
Oh, oh.
Yeah.
Yes, I think we might have another slide in here somewhere, but we can show up pretty much on any device that's connected in the home. And we can continue following those devices after they leave the home too. So if you wanted to stay in front of people on their device once we identified that home, we can do that. So if you are, for example, on all of our TVs, we've got smart TVs at our house and Samsung TVs are what we have. So even if we're not watching a show, usually I have that TV on. And recently, my kids really have been into like the screensavers or just like the main homepage. And so there are ads that show up there. So that's an example of where an ad would show, as well as if you're on like we have Peacock and Sling TV, Tubi. And a lot of those that I'm mentioning are part of what they call fast inventory, free ad supported television inventory. And that is actually the fastest growing category of streaming and connected TV. If you haven't tested connected TV yet, now is a really good time to do it. And this is actually a great platform to do that too, because you don't have to hit, an entire DMA is usually the tightest you can get, or an entire city is usually the tightest. And there's not usually much attribution on the back end to show whether it's working or not. But it's going to go across pretty much anywhere that you can stream TV other than YouTube TV, because that's part of the Google empire. So you need a separate strategy for YouTube. But other than that, we'll be able to get in front of folks, whatever streaming services they're using, as long as there are ads there. And then we also, if we're looking on websites, there's about 94% of all websites that we've got access to. So anywhere that you're seeing a banner ad along the top or the side of a web page, that would be an example of where this would show up. So if you go to like weather.com, the ads on the top and along the side and in the middle of the page are examples of where that would be. And then for an online video, I'm like always looking up recipes for our family. So those recipe pages and those blogs, they've got those little videos that kind of start in the middle of while I'm reading through it. They're very, they really like to get my attention. So that's another spot where we're serving a video ad for clients as well. If we do a meta campaign, that's kind of going to be a segment share in the paid ad section for Facebook and Instagram is where those would show up too.
You know what's coming to mind is I love Crystal with Lemon Seed Marketing, how she's
Mm-hmm.
a big advocate for having a mascot. So whether you have
Mm-hmm.
a character or you don't, or it's your owner or whoever it is, but having a mascot. I just see this image of all these ads that you're talking about. You're on TV, phone, in front of the recipes, and it's this character that you recognize.
Mm-hmm.
And so,
Yeah.
what a great way to distribute your brand. There's so many ways to distribute your brand to be top of mind awareness and to be 5 mile famous, but even having a character. So looking at your logo and considering, is it memorable? Is it not? How can we make it more memorable? Who's the face of our company? Who's memorable? Who's not? And then having them in the ads. So then all of a sudden your kids are like, wow, look, there's that river otter that I see all the time and that I love
Mm-hmm.
otters. Hey, there's that panther. There's this, there's that. So then because I love when people say, oh, I needed a heating and air company. And our kids said, oh, yeah, well, remember, call so and so because they
Yeah.
jingle 1,000 times and they were singing.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think in business, I know in business, we miss the opportunity. We think, oh, we have to only market to the decision maker. We have to only market to the homeowner. And we forget about all the other people that might be in the home that we could be marketing
Mm-hmm.
to because they all influence. There's so many
Mm-hmm.
ways to reach your 5 mile famous.
Yeah, absolutely.
We have more slides in here. We can go through them. We don't have to. What you got?
I think we hit on pretty much all of this here, Danielle. But I mean, just to kind of wrap it back to, oh, there we go. Here's some examples of connected TV and OTT where that's serving. But just to wrap it back to the new flat rate too, a lot of our clients that we work with, and I was excited to do this joint webinar with you today because as much as we can get the word out to the right people, if we're kind of driving these leads, if we're driving website traffic, getting more people to be aware of the home service client, but they haven't yet gotten it down. Like once you're in the home and talking to the person and they can't close that deal and don't have the right pricing, it's not profitable, then it's not, all that work could be for naught. So knowing that you guys have this resource to be able to have the same playbook for pricing so that it's profitable, and then be able to close those deals more regularly and just continue to increase revenue. It's kind of like the second half of what we're doing on the front end at the top, trying to get the word out and then being able to close that deal on the back end with the new flat rate. So I love the kind of how we can work together here with both sides of the puzzle piece.
Love that. Thanks for that.
Yeah, the last thing I guess is that we're just patented all that stuff, but I think we got that.
Yeah, I think so too. I'll leave this slide up. Thank you guys times 1,000 for hanging out with us today. I know, like I said, it's the middle of the day in July, so it's amazing that you were here. I believe, Megan, you provided great value. Thank you so much. And I want to remind everybody that your company is bigger than you think it is. Let's change the
Mhm.
lens and the perspective, and let's maximize the opportunities in the home. And if
Mhm.
anybody's interested in seeing the new flat rate, and if this is the pricing system for you, Melody, will you put the link in here to schedule a demo, please? If anybody would click on there, schedule a demo, a time to talk. We'd love to get to know you and your business a little bit more. And if you'd like some freebies from Megan,
Mm-hmm.
click this QR code here, scan it.
Mm-hmm.
I'll leave it.
Scan the QR code, or I think I've got the link down here at the bottom for our opportunity map. So everything that we were just talking about, if you want to send us a list of addresses of just all we need is the physical street address. We don't need anything beyond that. And the zip code, we can help you generate an opportunity map of where are those neighbors that you should be reaching out to based on who you've had as customers over the last 30 or 60 days. And it should just take us give us a couple hours. We'll send that back over to you. There's no requirement. You don't even have to have a meeting with us or anything. We can just send it back over to you, and feel free to use that to help focus on where you should be looking next for your next customers.
Awesome. Great resource. Thank you for that, Megan. Thank you for offering that. Any last?
Yeah, I think we're good. Just continuing the gratitude, Danielle. Thanks for having me on today. And thanks to everybody that joined here. It was a great time. And I'm excited to see what else we can do next together.
Yeah, I love it. Thank you guys so much for spending time with us. Really appreciate it. And I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you.
Thanks, all.
And with some energy, even if I don't have music.
Yeah.
There, I like that. Megan is a good one to know because she is not afraid to dance with you. It's the best.
Just do arm dancing. We need like some more arm dancing moves.
It's good.
Do like shoulder.
Keep it going into the next part of the day. All right, everybody.
Yeah.
Thanks so much. We'll see you later.